like, I believe 900 and some people were arrested today by ICE. I saw they had all kind of things on the news. They were up there in New York, and they hit a couple places up there in New York. And they actually had the CBS Evening crew actually riding with the actual people as they were going to, go to the people's houses and arrest them and stuff like that. To my understanding, right now they're just pretty much going after illegals that are criminals, gang members, and things of that nature as well too. So, I don't know.
They are going after the criminal element, but they picking up any others too that they might find up in there. You know what I mean? Of course, what I mean by that, ones that just don't have documentation proving that they are actually legal citizens. So that's the other part to this too. So just to make everybody aware, it is about getting the criminals, but it's also about the ones that don't really have any legal documentation to even be here in the first place.
All right, I appreciate that, Professor. Because from my understanding, now what I saw, they were saying that they were pretty much so far. They were going at they were talking about the gang members and stuff like that as well too. Now, are they supposed to step it up and put their efforts, I guess, on actual just a regular Joe Smo that came here legally as well too? Because from what I'm seeing right now, like I said before, now this is just what I saw on one news outlet. Of course, here in Tallahassee and the surrounding areas, I think they arrested a number of people in some of the surrounding counties. And I don't know if those people were, like you're right, Professor, I'm not sure if those people are actually gang members or anything else like that. These look like they could have just, from what I saw on the news, like they could have just been regular people that were arrested that were illegals. They weren't actually gang members. So maybe they are mixing and matching. Maybe they are going after both of them.
Yeah, they actually putting their efforts in to just go ahead and try to get everybody. Now, the main effort, of course, is to get the criminals. But if you can get the others mixed in with that, which is a bunch of them that don't have legal documentation here. I mean, we all know that. A lot of these folks have come into this country that have just been here without any papers for a long time. And they've been just roaming around here for years without any type of legal documentation or any type of visa or anything like that to show that they really belong here. So I'm all for it, folks, that these folks got to get up out of here. And I'm sorry that there is no sympathy. They can throw all these videos out here with people, they talk about children and all this stuff. About ICE going up in the schools. Man, I don't care about none of that. Because I'm telling you, Black Americans, the way we have been done in this country, we've been treated the worst of the worst. Because you think about slavery, you think about Jim Crow, you think about black codes, you think about the penal system, you think about police brutality, you think about the medical apartheid, you think about how we are unfairly treated with education where we're not even getting equal funding. So here's the thing. I can't feel sympathy for these other groups, man, because you don't have to come over here. Stay your tail where you are. And I'm going to land right there. But Total, before you move forward, man, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, my brother. The good Lord has blessed you to see another year that you get to spend with the Total family, that you get to share the news with us, man, and make sure that our family is up to date on the latest news that impacts us. And that's what we are so proud of, brother, that you started something that we need to help you to build. And that's the thing for 2025, family, is to get Total into a place where our family can say, hey, man, this is the biggest news, not just in this country, but it goes outside of this country. We're going to make it international, global. You understand? So that's what we want to get to. And so I just want to say I'm proud of Total, man, on what he's doing. And happy birthday and many more to come.
Yes, sir, Professor. I appreciate that. Thank you. And like I say, thank you to everybody that did wish me a happy birthday, guys. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the support that you guys show on a daily to me as well, too, man. And just trying to get the platform out there and trying to get these stories in front of our people so they can see it. So we can see what's going on exactly. So I definitely appreciate that, guys. From the bottom of my heart. Professor, I want to touch up on this, the MLK, and I want to hit up on the Solomon. I want to hit up on all of them tonight. I want to hit what everybody's got to say from the 14th Amendment. If you guys have anything as well, too, man, about the about what Trump said about the because I want some of my we got some of our scholars in, and I'm sure some will become later as well, too, and they're gonna speak on the 14th Amendment as well, too. We know what the 14th Amendment is really about. And to carry what you were saying, Professor, when we was talking about the deportations and ICE, I saw today on the news on CBS, when you mentioned about kids being taken, I think in one of the cases, I believe it was either on the CBS news, or it could have been on the local news here in Tallahassee, you did have somebody that got arrested, and they had some kids that were left behind, and they were trying to see if they could get them in child services or something like that as well, too. So, that's going to be the thing as well, too. I remember Holman said that, hey, he didn't want to break kids up from the families. He keep them all together and deport them basically. So that potentially looks like what may be happening here. Some of these kids that's being left behind. If the family members get deported, I believe they're going to go ahead and do their best to try to keep them together as much as possible. So let me give a shout out to all you guys in here. Let me give a shout out to you, Professor Ray, Silver, Viral, Andre, Jess Cakes. I see my girl Rerun down there as well too. Benjamin, ML1, all you guys, shout out to you. Shout out to my people that's coming in over there on YouTube as well too. For the people that come into YouTube tonight, make sure you go ahead and like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications for the channel as well too. Help us grow, help us grow, help us grow. Ray, go ahead. You got it. What's going on tonight?
What's going on, man? Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You only turned 21 so enjoy your day, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to go back to the early 2000s for that, but I appreciate that.
I had a question. So with the MLK files being declassified, have they released all of them? Because from what I'm hearing, is they're actually doing it over a period of, I'm guessing, either weeks or months. So are all the files out?
No, all the files they all the files not out, man. They haven't and they haven't released. As a matter of fact, I have a small article from the tri-state. They haven't released anything, but you have some of the King family members, Bernice King in particular. They say, hey, before you guys actually release this, the family would like to actually see this before you guys actually put it out there, because they're going to be releasing. You can imagine how many files they got on Dr. King. You could imagine the recordings and everything. I mean, how many years they were recording this man from his own home to wherever he went at and everything else like that. And so we're going to touch up on that. And there's been a lot of people on this line on X in particular, man, that's hoping that all kind of crazy, nasty, degenerate things could come out so they can really try to tarnish Dr. King's legacy. You got a lot of people, and I see people that's supposed to be melanated. They sitting up here championing as well too. A lot of people that would call themselves melanated and black are sitting up here, and they're trying to go ahead and champion this stuff as well too. So I just it's just crazy to me, man. Go ahead, Ray.
No, what I was getting at is, I hate to sound like a downer, but what are they really trying to get from it? Because it's been 50 years. Everyone that was involved with it is dead. Honestly, Martha King obviously got shot. James Earl Ray, I believe, died in prison of cancer. Lord Jowers, who owned a restaurant that, from what I remember, that Dr. King was actually shot from. All these, conspirators and people are dead. So what are they really trying to get out of it? Because we already know that. Obviously the government played a part in it. So at this point, what are they really trying to get out of it? Because like you said, they have all this stuff about Dr. King, right? Because we know the FBI, the CIA, they hated his guts. And they monitored Dr. King's every movement. Like, they have all these pictures of him, like, getting beat up. They got pictures of him getting locked up. They got the pictures of him laying down after he got shot and all this other stuff. But
they are claiming in these documents, what I'm reading, what I have read, that, he was attending these gay orgies, that he was, cheating on Coretta, which from what I do understand, that actually was happening. That he laughed at some woman getting raped, that he was committing adultery the night, when he died, that he was a communist. If they have all this stuff, then where are the photos? That's my honest question. So what are they really trying to prove with this?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't really know. I don't, like you say, I don't know. Releasing this, and it's not only him either. Like I say, you got JFK, you got RFK as well too. They talk about releasing the classified files on it. Now that's crazy. Now the fact that you got classified files on the former president and attorney general as well too. So I mean, one can only imagine. Like I said, a lot of people are trying to say that, they're trying to say this and that or whatever, and all this crazy stuff that went down or whatever. We don't know. We weren't there. But at the same time, I look at it like this here too. You are talking about the FBI, and, I don't put anything past these people when you're talking about doctored tapes and everything else that goes along with the way that they've always done business as well too. I mean, let's be for real. A lot of people believe that the actual government played a big part in the assassination of Dr. King, whether you want to say it was a local police there in Memphis or even the feds themselves. A lot of people have always, and the family themselves have always felt that it was a government sponsored type hit on their father as well too. So I mean, on that matter, I don't really know. I don't know after 50 some years classified what could be on those tapes or whatever, but there's all kind of rumors floating around and stuff like that or whatever. And, I believe that it could be a potential type of hit piece to try to, to tarnish his image. The same way years ago, you had people sitting up here trying to say that that it was rumors of Malcolm X being bisexual and gay and all kind of crazy stuff and this and that or whatever. And my thing is this right here. If the feds had that kind of damaging information back in the 60s, where they could have quelled the entire civil rights movement, those tapes and those audios would have been leaked. Now, I heard that people said it. I heard years ago that people said it was leaked and it was sent to Coretta Scott King's house and stuff like that. And, I don't know how true that was, but I believe it would have been leaked to the actual media and outlets and everything all throughout the world to go ahead and try to discredit him. So, and that way, you could have went ahead and discredit the civil rights movement at the same time as well, too. So, I just kind of want to see, like everybody else, and I hope the family does get a chance to actually look and observe and hear these tapes before they actually release to the public.
There's a good book I will recommend everyone read. I read it a long time ago. It's called An Active State. There's I believe he's a lawyer. His name was William F. Pepper. He was a close associate of Dr. King. He put out a book detailing pretty much everything that you talked about and how if the shooter would have missed, they actually had, I believe it was some type of Army special, I don't know, so I don't want to say like SEAL team because obviously SEALs is Navy, but they had like a backup team just in case they missed because obviously if Dr. King would have survived, if they would have missed, he was heading to Washington for the Poor People's Campaign. And obviously the whole thing about that was we're coming to get our check. So I think then at that moment is when they decided this man has got to go. He's gone too far.
Absolutely. And let me touch up real quick. This is a quick article from the Tri-State Defenders, one of our curation partners. It touches on the thing with Dr. King, as well as it briefly touches up on the inauguration of Trump and stuff like that. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says King family seeks review of files on MLK assassination. Bernice King addresses public disrespect. The family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has expressed his hope to review records related to his assassination before they are made public. King's family statement came after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to declassify records surrounding the assassination of the civil rights icon, President John F. Kennedy and Senator Robert F. Kennedy. For us, the assassination of our father is a deeply personal family loss that we have endured over the last 56 years. The family stated in a message shared by King's daughter, Bernice King. We hope to be provided the opportunity to review the files as a family prior to his public release. The family also noted not granting interviews as they await further information. The release of the document hasn't been the only moment in the news this week for the King's family. The nation observed Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which fell on the same Monday as Trump's inauguration this year. Bernice King, the youngest of the King's 4 children, told MSNBC that the overlap provided an opportunity to recall her father's legacy while the country transitions to a new administration. It's wonderful that this occurs on the King holiday, the inauguration, because it reminds us of King. Said King was 5 years old when her father was assassinated in 1968. It points us back to King. It says when we move forward, we got to do it in the spirit of King. She called on Americans to remain steadfast in the values of her father, champion particularly nonviolence. We have to strategize. We've been missing the strategy. We've been missing the spirit of Dr. King. She said the spirit of Dr. King is nonviolence. And nonviolence is not just a posture, it's a mindset, it's a love-centered way of thinking, speaking, acting, engaging that leads to personal culture and social transformation. This year marked just the third time that Martin Luther King Jr. Day fell with the presidential inauguration, the first during President Bill Clinton's second term in 1997, and the second during President Barack Obama's second term in 2013. Obama took his oath of office using a Bible that once belonged to King. It talks about the issues, the thing with, of course, I'm not gonna really cover that with Sexy Red and the AI image as well too. And Bernice King, she spoke briefly on that, and her thing was she said she didn't believe Sexy Red to be degenerate, ghetto, or trash. So it briefly spoke on that as well too. Ray, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna hit up on real quick. Let me hit up on this thing with Candace Owens and Solomon Henderson as well too. And it turns out Candace Owens inspired Nashville school shooter Solomon Henderson's manifesto. This is from Black Sports Online, another one of our curation partners. In a surprising turn of events, it has been revealed that Candace Owens was a major influence on the Nashville school shooter Solomon Henderson, who carried out a devastating attack on his schoolmates. Left behind a manifesto detailing his motivations and inspirations. In the manifesto, he specifically mentioned Candace Owens and Hitler as people who inspired his actions. This revelation has sparked a significant amount of controversy and debate. Many are questioning the responsibility of public figures such as Owens and the potential impact their words can have on vulnerable individuals. Owens herself has faced criticism for her controversial statements and ideologies, with some arguing that she bears some responsibility for the tragic events that unfolded in Nashville. The horror inside the school cafeteria unfolded at 11 a.m. Wednesday and was partially streamed online. Now it has emerged that the police are probing a sprawling manifesto allegedly penned by Henderson, which gives some insight into the killer's twisted mindset. Much of the writing centered on the gunman's being ashamed to be black and praise work of Hitler and the Nazis under one section. Is there particular groups or people that radicalize you the most? Political commentator Owens is name checked alongside far-right influencer Nick Fuentes and YouTuber Mr. Beast. Candace Owens has influenced me above all. Each time she spoke, I was stunned by her insight, and her own views helped push me further and further into belief of violence over the small hat. The manifesto reads, moments before Henderson struck, he posted chilling warnings about his plans, writing, "Today is a good day to perish. I thought someone had found out when I got called to office, but it was just probation officer." Henderson wrote on his Blue Sky account, "We're good. Everything will be going as scheduled." The final entries into the manifesto came on November 18th, the same day the Metro Nashville Police Department received a call indicating there was a school shooting, which they later determined was a hoax, according to the News Channel 5. "I was so miserable, I wanted to off myself. I just couldn't take it anymore. I am a worthless subhuman, a living, breathing disgrace," the gunman allegedly wrote. "All my in real life friends outgrew me, act like they didn't effing know me. Becoming me was so effing humiliating. That's why I spent all day disassociating. Photos have also surfaced showing the team making a Nazi salute. We hope that this incident sparks a larger conversation about responsibility and accountability in the media industry. Celebrities and famous people need to think twice about the messages they're putting out into the world and consider the potential consequences. Remember, we all have a role to play in creating a positive and inclusive society." Shout out to you, Abdul. I see you over there on YouTube as well, too. Shout out to Mr. Original. I see you down there. DJ, what's up? I see you up in the space as well, too. And guys, like I say, we do want to touch up on the on this whole thing with the 14th Amendment with Trump as well, too. Does anybody, and Ray, go ahead, because you got it. But when you get through, Ray, I want to know, has anybody seen Trump personally saying that? Because I've been looking about him saying that, of course, what he's saying is actually true. I mean, about, the 14th Amendment being for the children of slaves. But has anybody actually personally seen him actually say that?
Yeah, I saw him. Sharik actually reposted. He posted a video. I think it was yesterday or maybe early this morning talking about it. And what the Democrats going to do? They're going to say that he's lying because he's not. That was only supposed to be for us. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Those were called the Reconstruction Amendment. So, obviously the descendants of the slaves, we would have, our own, we would be citizens of this nation too. So they can't say that he's lying, but basically what's been happening is people have just been using it. And I think that started with the LBJ. He actually changed something to allow everyone to come over here, and people have just been taking advantage of it. And that should not be happening.
Do you think, Ray, they're going to actually, do you actually think that they're going to put a complete end to this thing, or do you think that they're going to go ahead and revise it to a certain degree where, maybe it loses some of its impact, but it's still on the actual books as well?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know anything about law, so I'm gonna tell you what Judge Joe Brown told me when I talked to him, because I actually asked him about this, and he told me that basically we should leave it the way it is for right now. He's like, because when you get the government involved in it, they're just gonna start taking stuff away that don't need to be taken away. So for what he told me, just leave it alone. I trust my cousin on this because, like I said, I don't know anything about law. As far as the Solomon Henderson guy goes, man, this dude, from what I'm reading, like you said, Candace Owens, big Candace Owens supporter. He was a black white supremacist and he was an incel. So this dude had a lot going on, man. It seemed like he was going to be a serial killer. So luckily they got him before he was able to hurt any more people. And as far as the 14th Amendment goes, actually doing a little bit of reading from what I've seen, not one Democrat actually supported the 14th Amendment. That went through because of the radical Republicans. So I just wanted to just drop that, a little bit of information there for everyone to look up if they wanted to.
Appreciate that, Ray. And Abdul on YouTube says, regardless of what information she shares, Candace Owens is absolutely an enemy of our foundational Black American freedmen community. Abdul also says, if Donald Trump produced a foundational Black American lineage-based policy such as anti-Black hate crime bill, then the Democrat Party is going to crash and burn beyond 2028. If he does that, Abdul, that would be interesting to see as well too. You got to remember his base too. You wonder how the diehard MAGAs would actually take to actually Donald Trump putting in an actual anti Black American hate bill. Exactly how would they respond to that as well too? Professor, go ahead, make it. I see you came up here. Make it make sense. Did you want to speak? If you want to speak, just get your hand up, and I will definitely get to you. And anybody else down there in the listener section as well. I see my girl Trouble just popped her head up in here as well too. Go ahead, Professor, and then we're gonna get back to you, Ray.
All right, and shout out to all the family in this space that's up in here right now. We got Trouble just popped up in here. That's right, Trouble just popped up in here to make a little trouble. Brother Blood, original Blood right there, and then my brother Ray right there. Looking for the rest of the family to be coming up in here in a second. Black majority state. Thought I saw Rera up in here, but I don't know if she might have stepped out. But anyway, and shout out to Sister No Task too. I've been thinking about her too. So, Sister No Task, we thinking about you. Now, let me say this. As it pertains to the law of these 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, right? These are Black American amendments, Reconstruction amendments. I think they're going to have to do some kind of revision to make it where it stands strictly for the people that it belongs to. because it's not meant for other groups, because other groups have been trying to come in, of course, to take advantage of these amendments to make their way in here and leech off a system that they don't even, you know what I'm saying? They don't give nothing to the system. They don't have any stake in the land. They have nothing here. They have no ties here. They have no foundation here. So they don't really care about what goes on here. So that's why they don't try to join in to fight to knock the system out of place or change the system, because they don't care about that. They just come here so they can leech and get money or whatever and send resources back to wherever their families are located. So they have no ties to this. They have no stake in this. So these amendments are very important to our people, and that's what we got to understand. We don't need to be caping for other groups to give away stuff that should be ours, and we need to stand 10 toes down in that this is ours, okay? So I'm not going to be out here trying to march to cape for other groups to save them. No, those days of doing all that, Black America's been doing that for years, and it has not gotten us anywhere, because these groups do not come back to help us. They never have. So I just want y'all to understand that I do see something coming down the pipeline that could be a revision to these amendments, because as you see, Ann Coulter is one of the main ones, y'all, and I know y'all seen her videos, and she's very conservative. She's been all over the place making videos saying that these amendments belong to Black Americans. Trump also, like Brother Ray just said, also has said that these amendments are ours. Everybody knows that. So we just got to understand that we got to fight for what is ours. And I'm going to land right there.
All right. Appreciate that. Now, with Trump saying that, do you guys feel like that, okay, Trump says that, the 14th Amendment was for the children of slaves. What is the ball's in his court? What is Trump going to do now? Is he going by now? It's because we know a lot of times you have politicians, they like to use Black people as the slogan, so to speak. I mean, because I remember when you had that quote unquote the insurrection back in 2021. All we kept hearing from the left, and especially Joe Biden, the Democrats were saying, hey, if that was Black people and they had done that, all hell would have broke loose. They would have, no way, a bunch of Black people would have ran up in the Capitol. Like, yeah, we already know this. Even with the 14th Amendment, we know this as well, too. So what is Trump going to do with the balls in his court? Is he going to actually do something like Abdul said on YouTube? Is he gonna set up some kind of policy or some kind of some kind of law with some kind of protection for Black Americans or whatever? We also saw last night when Park came in here. Park was selling the wolf tickets about once they do this to them, then you got to worry about that. And he's talking about all this stuff about people being deported, Black Americans being deported, and this and that. If you're a repeat offender and all this kind of stuff, which I consider just fair type stuff as well too. But what is Trump going to do? Is it Trump going to do because we always talk about the Democrats, and it's true enough, for 60 some years the Democrats have just used slogans and really haven't done anything for Black people. Is he going to actually do something? Now, if he's quoting history like this and he's trying to make his point by, well, you know what, I'm getting rid of these illegals and this and that or whatever, because technically this law was really meant for the slaves in this country, their children. Now, they were the ones that's actually supposed to be birthright citizens and this and that or whatever. So exactly what is he going to do? Ray, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to the new hands. Let me get to Original, Trouble, and Make It, and I'm gonna get right back to you. Original, what's going on tonight?
Hey, let's let Miss Trouble go first. I want to hear.
Okay.
I want to hear let Miss Trouble go first.
Miss Trouble, are you up in the building? What's going on, Trouble?
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to everybody in this busy.
Shout out to you too.
I'm just getting in the house and left my phone at home when I dipped out, so I wasn't able to join in when you all first came on. So I don't know what all has been said. Original, I appreciate it, but brother, you didn't have to give up your spot. I don't think Trump, and I said it right the first time. I don't think Trump is going to do much of anything. White man speak with forked tongue always, and we better. We should remember that. what we've gotten from both parties is a bunch of talk, and they love to. This wouldn't be the first time that Trump said something that was actually accurate and true. But I'm looking for what you're going to do with that information. What you're going to do with that after you said it. His first term, he said, "Okay, well, Black Americans built this country. Okay, well, we know that, and thank you for saying it." What did you do with that information? Did anything come from it? No, nothing came from it. Just like with Biden, nothing came from that. So we need these, we need to see some things from this speech. What is SCOTUS going to do with that information? Now, I do think that it could be a possible game changer now that the president has admitted it and said it out of his own mouth, that maybe, we could utilize those talking points to our advantage later on, or somewhere down the line. But as far as him just outright doing something other than blustering and saying, because it benefits him to say that right now. It benefits him to say that right now because it makes his position on the 14th Amendment a little bit more solidified as far as trying to get these other people out the paint. Now, you need 2/3 of Congress in order to make certain amendments and things happen. So will he have the backing to do that? It is what it is. So we'll see about that. As far as the MLK declassified files, that's a little bit disheartening because we got the people who assassinated him giving us these files. And so some of the things that's been coming out of this so-called, not even sure, been declassified, jumping online with stuff that they got from wherever they pulled it from, But I think it's pretty curious that JFK and RFK files were also supposed to be declassified, but we got the focus on the MLK and, some degenerate stuff that had been said about, his behavior and what he was doing way back when and yada, yada, yada. And, even if that stuff turns out to be true, it doesn't change what it was that he did in this nation, but just the audacity, just the whole audacity for them to even have certain things like that online. Okay, we release the JFK files now. Release the RFK files now.
Yes, man. And trouble not to cut you off, but because we've heard just as much degenerate stuff about the Kennedys as well too. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
They had a whole lot of freaky sneaking going on, baby. Now that's a popcorn worthy stuff. That's a whole movie I can kick back to and get a little drink while you're playing it. Okay. But let's see if when they declassify that stuff, if it is a redacted, because that's how they like to do. They like to put us on Front Street while hiding their degeneracy that we already know y'all some degenerate suckers. Go ahead and put it out there. You're so big, you're so bad, you're so bold, you so don't care what the people think. Well, then let's get it on. Let's go for the gusto. But they're not going to do that. As far as that Solomon Henderson kid, and I don't know if you touched up on that yet.
Yeah, I touched up, but you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. With a little Solomon Henderson kid, I want to know why they haven't spoke about that little boy's parents. So you all come out with these files and you say all of this stuff about what he said. Oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. No Hebrew Israelite that I know of moves that manner, and neither does their children. Children have a little bit more act right about them than that. And they're definitely not self-hating themselves. And if anything, I would say that they would more go on the opposite of the extreme, whether they're not getting ready to hurt themselves, but maybe they're going to hurt you. But then again, because they know that this is our kingdom and we got next, why would they? So it doesn't pan out to me. And you all, and they haven't released any information on his parents. Who was this self-hating little boy's parents? Did he write that niggeration or whatever that was they called it, niggatron or whatever that was, nigger files or something they called it? Was he the one who wrote it? But see, it's always after these people die that here comes some kind of manifesto or what they call it, the niggerfesto. I don't believe nothing that comes out of the mouths of these others when it comes to certain things going down in this country, because the devil is a liar, and we all know who the devil is. and all he knows how to do is lie. Every time he opens his mouth, he's lying. So it's really just kind of hard to believe. It's not hard to believe that he went up there and did what he did, but, you know, it's just other things surrounding that. So I want to know who this little boy's parents is. I want to know, is he from this nation? Is he from another nation? Does he have adopted white parents? Because that's a whole lot of degeneracy and a whole lot of, you know, right-wing foolishness that I just don't see no child of Hebrew Israelites listening to. I just don't. So that's all I have on that. I'm not an expert on the 14th Amendment. I'll let that one ride. And thank you all for allowing me to speak.
All right. Thank you, Miss Trouble. You're right. Like, I've never, I got a cousin or two that's Hebrew Israelites, and the way this dude was talking, I've never heard any Hebrew Israelites that I've ever come across speak on the way this dude was speaking. I had a number of people when I posted that article as well too. A few days ago, a lot of our people was like, "Hey man, like something seems fishy." Like, you had a lot of people thinking like, did he actually write this manifesto, or did somebody actually, pin it himself or whatever? So, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't know how this dude, like you say, Trouble, can come from if you've been around Hebrew Israelites, to come from a Hebrew Israelite background and just to see the way they move, whether you agree with 100% of what they say or whatever. I find that kind of hard. And I've been in the car with my cousin, and every time we came to a light or something, all he kept talking about was Esau, 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 Esau. So just to hear to hear this dude cut up like this right here and talk about how ashamed he is, or how his skin and what he is and his race and all this other stuff, and to put Candace Owens of all people on the pedestal, that's crazy. That's just totally crazy. And Candace Owens, she's getting a lot of heat from this right now as well too. Now I believe Candace Owens starts a lot of crap. I believe that people do play a part in things, I guess, but I would never, if this kid did do actually, of course he did do it, whatever. But if he went out there and committed the crime, I would not put totally the 100% of the blame on Candace Owens, because he is old enough, he is responsible for what he does or whatever. So, my dad used to tell you that once you get 12, 13 years of age, you're responsible for your own actions and this and that or whatever. So, this dude knew exactly what was going on. But apparently it was Candace Owens, it was Nick Fuentes, it was Mr. Beast or whatever, all these red pill type folks or whatever. This guy decided to get hooked on or whatever, and it was just a crazy, I don't know, I haven't heard much about it, and it's crazy because now, like you say, Trouble, normally when stuff like this happen, they got the parents on there and this and that, they talking about the parents and this and that, and his parents have been kind of quiet. Like, I haven't heard anything about his parents and anything like that. We've seen lately that parents have been actually charged for some of this stuff that's been going on and stuff like that as well too. So it's been totally quiet. Like, I ain't seen a picture of his mama, his daddy. I ain't heard nothing about, they always like to say, oh, where was his pop at? He came from a broken home. And I ain't heard none of that. So I would like to find out myself as well too, exactly, his parents, his background. I mean, something should be popping off more or whatever. Even like you would think you would hear more of the kids from his school and stuff talking more about, yeah, he was this, he was that or whatever, his neighborhood. It's been a little bit quiet so far. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll monitor that as well, too. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic, Original. You got it.
Grand evening, everybody. Let's see. Now you see why I let Trouble go before me. Yeah, but this thing, I want to start with Dr. King and see. I think what's going on with, like what Trouble was saying. See, for decades, they claim that they've had audio recordings of Dr. King having sex with a woman that wasn't his wife. And I think Andy Young spoke about it. He said something about it didn't happen or whatever. But see, as I told someone years ago, I said we must understand that back during the 60s, they had these people called impressionists, and they could inflect their voice and make it sound like the person you think you're listening to, and you had to listen very intently in order to see that. If you didn't see them, that may not be that person. So these audio files that they may have coming out, which they probably have those too, that's saying that it's Dr. King having sex with a woman that's not his wife, those may not be real, because as we all know how this government has lied on us, lied to us, and lied about us. And so I don't put anything past these people. And see, what they've been trying to do for a long time is to get us to turn against Dr. King. So now they're saying all kind of stuff about Dr. King. I'm like, look, if you don't have any video factual, let me put it this way, factual video evidence showing Dr. King doing anything that you're saying that that he did, I don't believe you. And the video must be accurate, because they have been trying to do this for decades, trying to turn us against him. I don't care what they say about Dr. King. They can't make me think any differently about Dr. King, because what Dr. King, I can say it like this, what Dr. King did for me, it put me in a better place today. And so there isn't any way that I'm going to sit up here and believe some white folks, because I saw something where they claim, because as you all know, documents can be made up to look like that they was developed years ago, because Photoshop and other applications are able to do stuff like that. So for me, I'm just not going to believe. Whether it's true or not, you won't be able to turn me against Dr. King. I mean, that's just where I stand, because I know how these people are, and they've been trying. But I even had there was an old racist guy I worked with. He was trying to say, somebody had a picture of Mrs. King drinking a beer. I'm like, and? Okay, well, she drank the beer. Okay, so what? People drink beer. They've been trying to do some of everything just to malign this family. Well, this is our first family, and we're going to do what we have to do to protect them. They gave the ultimate price, which was they sacrificed their parent. Because, see, his oldest daughter, Yolanda, it was in an interview that she gave, it was years ago, and she was like, she said at one point, she kept asking her dad, she said, I want you to be at home. Why you always have to go? And so I didn't know of this place. It was like an amusement park called Funtown that was here in the Metro Atlanta area. And he told her, he said, well, I'm doing this so that you will be able to go to Funtown. And then she said, okay, well, you can go, Daddy. I'll see her because I want to go to Funtown. And so it's incidents like that I hold, dear to me, what the family have shared, and as we all know, and what this person and what he did for us. But I'm looking for my article, and I'm gonna put it in the purple chat. It's an article that I found some time ago, and it's an article stating how, see, the NAACP in Chicago, well, the national NAACP, they didn't like Dr. King. Dr. King was a member of the NAACP, but it was because the people who own and control the NAACP kept trying to slow Dr. King down. But I got that from someone who knew Dr. King personally. Dr. King left the NAACP and started the SCLC. But when I'm gonna put this article up here in a minute, and people can read this article, and you can see the hate that these black folks working for these folks that own the NAACP have for Dr. King. It's a damn shame as to what some of these black folks did back then and continue to do today, because these white folks that own the NAACP want them to. And that's why they don't hold any respect with us today. So I just want people to understand that, just because white folks say something, because you got some of these people, and also I got to go back and find this video too. That there's a video, and I saw this video years ago, and it was a video of Reverend Hosea Williams. And Reverend Williams was talking about the people that were around Dr. King when he was shot. And I don't think he said the guy's name, but he said there was an African there that was. I think he was stating that he was a reporter, but he was working as an op. This thing get deep. So if they don't have that information in there, what Reverend Williams had said on this video, you know, they don't let they've left a lot of stuff out, you know. So I just want people to understand that. And so the 14th Amendment, I've already put something in the purple pill, and it's entitled this. It's the 1924 Indian Citizenship Act. So if the 14th Amendment wasn't just meant for us, why did they have this 1924 Indian Citizenship Act, making the people they call Indians citizens? So there's something to this, you know, because as it said, you know, when you start peeling back the layers of this onion from these soulless people, you begin to find all kind of stuff. So if they can answer why did they have to pass the Indian Citizenship Act when the 14th Amendment, if the 14th Amendment wasn't just meant for us, and then they you know, flipped it and everything, and now they want to say everybody can if you come here you have a child and that child is a citizen, then why wasn't the Indians included? Interesting, you know. And as far as this little boy, yeah, you know, it sounds like, I didn't dig deep into this a lot, but it sounds like this little, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like he might be a foreigner, because with all this delineation that's going on, that how we have delineated from these, you know, black people from the so-called diaspora, and his parents may have a heavy accent from somewhere, because see, remember how people from the Caribbean, they would tell us, we don't know who we are, and we don't have a culture, and that we don't know our names. But yet the people from the Caribbean, they got an English surname, a Spanish surname, French surname, but we don't know who we are. So that's going to be very interesting to see if they show these parents, and these parents have that heavy accent, and so that we get this, because see, they don't want, because see, remember when Jesse Smollett did that little trick up there in Chicago, it was two Nigerians that assisted him in doing that. And then when it came out that the three of them was having all kind of assorted sex with each other, Nigerians was online saying, well, why they got to say they're Nigerian? Because they are. See, when people do when these people with black skin do some jacked up stuff, they just want to be black. But when they do something that's positive, they want to wave their flag, say that they the Nigerian or the Jamaican or whatever, and that they are proud of it, that they are proud of their heritage. So this is going to be interesting. That it already is if they haven't seen the parents. If the parents haven't spoken anything, and we can hear exactly what these parents sound like. So I'm gonna land with that, and I'm gonna go find this article that I'm gonna put in the purple pill regarding the encounter that what Dr. King had with the NAACP in Chicago, and you all will be able to see exactly how much these people hated Dr. King. And I land.
All right. Appreciate that, original. That dude Solomon you were speaking about, my girl Tony, and one of the messages, she said that he said he claimed that his parents had abused him or whatever. So, you know, I don't know if that's you know, if that's something that may have triggered him or whatever. Allegedly, you know, I don't know if his parents did or didn't, but he said that apparently that's what Tony said. So you know, I don't know anything about it. Getting back to and also I put up in the Jumbotron, guys. Our brother Arthur Watkins Jr. He has this video circulating with this Asian woman. It's up in the jumbotron, the far left hand side. You guys tweet it out. Well, she's slandering Dr. King, and if you know Arthur, he doesn't take lightly to that. He's going ahead and he's already putting on notice as well too. You know, bringing attention to it as well too. She's using BS FBI conspiracies and this and that or whatever. Now here's somebody else, and we said this in spaces before. Her last name looks like what is it? I am Van T Win. So that's I believe that's a Vietnamese name. Now here's somebody else once again from the model minority community who's benefited off of the actual backs and the suffering of black people in this country. She's sitting up here and an icon. And Dr. King, let's get it real. Whether people agree with everything that he participated in the civil rights movement, whether you say, "Oh, we were better off this or better off that," Dr. King is an icon, and he's really an icon that transcends race as well too, nationality, whatever you want to say. He transcends all that. For her to sit up here and to make these falsehoods like that, she has no proof, no evidence to sit up here and slander this man here. This is somebody else right here. Now, this group, the Vietnamese, we saw back in the 60s when Muhammad Ali was willing to put his career on the line, not to go over there and fight in Vietnam. We saw Frederick Douglass, and even though this was a different Asian group, the Chinese, how he stood up for the Chinese, back in the day, in the 1800s. To sit up here and come up with this kind of crap right here, and you have no proof, no evidence, but you decided, hey, I'm going to get me a few clicks, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to capitalize off of this man's name because I think I can make $1 or $2 off of somebody who fought for everybody, including your people as well, too. And you're sitting up here and you're trying to capitalize off of it. I don't think so. So if you guys get a chance, y'all go ahead, get up in the Jumbotron and retweet that tweet that Arthur has. It's in the Jumbotron. It's on the far left-hand side. I also retweeted out as well, too. Shout out to Arthur. And like Tame Doe said, that they're trying to use Dr. King. For one, they're trying to tarnish his legacy. For two, they're trying to go ahead and use this as a distraction as well, too. It doesn't matter which party's in office. They both play by the same playbooks, and they both believe in having distractions and everything else as well, too. So do me that favor. Go ahead, retweet that out. If you guys haven't had a chance, look at the video, see what she's saying as well, too. She's running her mouth. She's talking noise, and she's sitting over here. And like I said, it was black people. The biggest. Muhammad Ali was the most recognizable person in the world when he went ahead and he put his livelihood and said, those Viet Congs ain't done nothing to me. Now, 55, 60 years later, however long later, 60 some years later, one of their descendants is sitting up here and she feels the need to go ahead and to slander an icon, a worldwide icon, a historical icon.
Let me tell you, bro, they should have just went over there and bombed the hell out of that place. Bomb Vietnam off the damn map. That's how I feel about them. These people are just like the Chinese. They all the same. You might call them Vietnamese. You might call them Japanese. You call them Chinese. Whatever you want to call them. They all Asians. And they all got them slanted eyes. They all need to be sent back to the rice paddy fields and just get my fish. That's all I need y'all to do. Go get my fish and stop talking on Black American issues. That's what I need you to do. And get them over here. As a matter of fact, I like to see them deported too. They need to be deported. All these Asian folks that's over here, man, get them out of here. I mean, completely get them out of here because they ain't doing it but setting up sex shops and sex salons and y'all, let me tell y'all something. They have caught so many of these folks here in Alabama setting up these sex salons and stuff, acting like it's a true business, but they selling sex out of them. Come on now. You get these folks up out of here. I'm going to land right there.
Always life, Professor. Always life.
All right. Appreciate that, Professor. Ray, let me get to the new speaker, and I'm going to get to you. Let me get the Tame, and then I'm going to come right back to you, Ray.
In the space, I'm driving. I just wanted to say one thing because I know you have people on YouTube, and I don't know if you'll get to my comment, but Jussie Smollett was actually acquitted So I just wanted to, give him that credit.
Yeah, he was acquitted, but at the same. What my point was is that
Acquitted is acquitted.
no, but you didn't let me finish. But what my point was is that how these black immigrants, how they like to talk down on us, and then when they do something that is not considered good, they want to just be black. I wasn't specific. Yeah, I mentioned Jesse Smollett, but my main issue was those two Nigerians, where the Nigerian was online saying that why you got to say they're not Nigerian. They just wanted to be black because it came out that the three of them was having all kind of assorted sex with each other. That's the issue. How these people with black skin, they want to come out here and cosplay as us. And then when they do something positive, they want to wave their flag. But if it's something that's considered to be negative, I want to be basic black that anymore. That was my point. It wasn't about smearing. Everybody knew Jesse Smollett was gay. But the fact of the matter is, the Nigerians didn't want it out about what their people was doing with Jesse Smollett. That was.
See, I think that part was a lie, and I think the Nigerians were not his friends, and they actually set him up because he was acquitted. So that means that whole story is not necessarily valid. That's all.
Not necessarily.
If you were acquitted, though, would you want that to, go away and be in that? Oh God, why people always coming and I didn't come up here to argue, and I know Newstoter knows me, so yeah, I'm good.
Well, the thing of it is that
we know that Trump been kicked out of a lot of Black American spaces, so
no, I haven't. Liar.
No.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Yeah, for the record to
I got to know that.
Yeah. Real quick, real quick, everybody, because we gonna go ahead, but I don't know how we got on the Jesse Smollett thing, but okay, Jesse, he was acquitted, but Jesse he also he did, I mean, his career was pretty much ruined as well too. So I mean, they did use him, and even when the what was it, the district attorney up there said that they weren't going to press charges, pretty much the law went over her head and said, you know what, we are going to make an example out of him as well too. So I look at it like that as well too. But just wanted to go ahead and put that in there. I know DJ hit the mute, and DJ, I'm kind of my and Professor, my mic is kind of like pausing, like when I try to unmute it. So I can't, if somebody's trying to speak and I can't like bring them up or get them or whatever, y'all go ahead, because sometimes it seems like I'm fading in the matrix. So just go ahead. If I can't unmute, because I'm having a problem sometimes unmuting my mic, just go ahead and bring the person up or let the person speak or whatever, because I'm having some issues sometimes unmuting my mic and stuff.
Yeah, let me get 60 seconds up in there real quick. So just for the record too, don't forget Jesse Smollett character was being written off Empire. He felt some type of way, but that's another story. So right here, Trump says the 14th Amendment was for children of slaves, not for illegal immigrants. 47 in the building, 60 seconds right here.
We are fighting hard to get birthright citizenship or automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens. That's another way. It's automatic citizenship for children of illegal aliens. That's the other term that they use, which is actually more accurate, more understandable. And it's ridiculous. We're the only country that has it, and certainly the only country that has it to that extent. And it wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This is when it happened. The children of slaves, it was not meant for everyone to come into our country by airplane or charging across the borders from all over the world and think they're going to become citizens. It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that. And hopefully at some point the courts will understand that without having to go through a whole big deal. This was meant for the children of slaves. And look at the timing of it, and you'll see. I hope judges will understand that. And it has to stop, because it's really hurting our country very badly.
Yeah, so that was Trump at the Congressional Institute, which was the House Republican Conference on January 27, 2025.
Okay, so he did. So because I kept trying to find like that audio or whatever, I couldn't find it. So I'm glad that you played it because I kept looking for it. I'm like, damn, everybody's talking about it. I said, but I couldn't find it. Let me give a shout out to my sister, Miss Trouble as well too, for always supporting. And Trouble, I got to give you a shout out. Thank you always for supporting, and thank you for the donation as well too. So shout out to that sister because she's been riding with the platform for the longest. So I got to give a shout out to my girl here. So shout out to Miss Trouble as well too. And I got to get to Ray because Ray, I want you to get back on it. But you said Judge Joe Brown said at this point in time he doesn't think that it would be in our best interest or in the nation's best interest to go ahead and to do anything with the 14th Amendment to pretty much leave things the way they are right now. Now, and I know you probably didn't get a chance to follow up, but does he think down the road that it may be in the best interest to maybe alter or change anything?
No, I would just wait for him and let him speak on it because, again, I don't know anything about law. So, next time we have him in his space, that'd be a great question for him to ask. But I just wanted to add one tidbit into what we were already mentioning. Why stop at Martin Luther King? Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and release the files for Watergate. Let's go ahead and release the files for the Cuban Missile Crisis. Let's go ahead and open the files for Malcolm X. Why just stop at Martin Luther King?
That's a good question. I mean, the only thing I can think of, Ray, is that, hey, why not destroy his legacy? People already done assassinated him. So they say, well, what's left? Well, let's go ahead and assassinate his legacy. So, we can do that by getting his character and bringing it into question. And I'm like, listen, don't even sit up here and talk about nobody's character and everything else. And anytime any of us pull out a dollar bill or a $10 bill or a $20 bill or a $100 bill, the people that's on this actual currency that's printed up, and y'all want to sit up here and y'all have made these people into gods. Y'all have erected monuments and statues. You've made sculptures of mountains and their likeness and everything else right here. And you want to sit up here and tell us about Dr. King, somebody who, against all odds, was willing to put his life on the line. Like I said, whether you agree with all of his politics, whether you agree with the nonviolence, whether you agree with, integration or whatever, because I know a number of our people don't agree with it. But one thing we can't disagree with is that, hey, this man was willing to risk his life for his people. I know a lot of people say, well, at the end, he saw that he was letting his people in the burning building and this and that or whatever. Still, he put his life on the line. When most people in that day and time, a lot of people, just like now, a lot of people sit up here and talk about they marched and they did this and they did that. These same people were sitting in their house underneath their table, scared as hell, like they was trying to prepare for a hurricane evacuation or something like that. All of a sudden now they were sitting out there and they were in the front line when they know damn well they weren't. So I don't care what they come up with, like Original said. I don't care what they come up with, what documents, what paper, this and that or whatever, because whenever we talk about, quote unquote, these other American heroes and stuff like that, and whenever we talk about their flaws and their imperfections and their sins and everything else right here, they instantly become a victim of their own time and error and everything else like that. And they couldn't help it. And they, unfortunately, they were born during this era. And had they been born in another era, they wouldn't have been like this and that or whatever. So personally, they can go to hell. I mean, straight up. I don't care what anybody says about them. They can go to hell. Same way they were trying to down Malcolm X. They can go to hell with that as well, too. So that's my personal opinion. Real quick, let me get to and we got some of our people down here in the listening section. Y'all feel free to come on up here, man. For those that can support us on Cash App, $ Newstoter, guys. $ Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $ Newstoter. We got the PayPal and the Venmo up in the Jumbotron, as well as an actual link to the customer portal. Today, guys, I had to go ahead because the site was running slow. And I thought I wasn't really deleting the old news like I had to. I had over a year's worth of news on there, so I had to cut it down to speed the site up. So we went from 48,000 articles to a little under 20,000. But the way the curation platform works, we back at 30,000 again. But the speed of the site is back up and the way it needs to be run. So make sure y'all check out newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news. Let me go ahead and get to and shout out, I see Black Majority State down there. And I see you down there as well too, Viral. Melissa, what's up? Carlos, what's up? Guys, feel free, like I said, to come on up here. We're not going to be in here long. I'm still trying to get my voice back. That's why I'm trying not to trying to go too long or trying to raise it too much or whatever, guys. So let me go ahead and get to original. DJ, Ray, you guys are up here. Anybody else that wants to speak on the 14th Amendment, on MLK and the declassified files? And like, who said that with about JFK and RFK? Like, I wonder how that file is going to look. I wonder how redacted it's going to be. Like I said, I've heard all kind of crazy stuff about them as well too. So let us know. I want to know exactly how their files are going to be and this and that. And not only that, but the actual man that was responsible, I know nobody was actually telling him and doing surveillance of him, but actually they were. The mob actually was doing surveillance on J. Edgar Hoover as well, too. It's funny, with all the stuff they talk about J. Edgar Hoover, why don't they put more stuff out about him? J. Edgar Hoover had dirt on the entire Hollywood, athletes, politicians, religious leaders, you name it. Like, and J. Edgar Hoover's been dead for I don't know how long. And when you had the whole thing with the George Floyd situation, they were trying to get rid of some of these monuments and buildings. Isn't it ironic that all the stuff that J. Edgar Hoover did with COINTELPRO and everything, yet the FBI building is still named in his honor? This man has been dead for how long, and the feds still got the damn building named after him. Go ahead, Original. You got it. And real quick, let me give a shout out to Miss Jennifer as well, too. Thank you for the contributions. Let me go ahead and get to Original, Ray, and DJ, and anybody else that wants to speak as well. Let's get it in, y'all.
Yeah, I would like to hear some new people speak as well. And just to reinforce what I said about Dr. King, there is a documentary. It's called Spies of Mississippi, and it shows you how degenerate and low down white people are. These people, they don't have a soul, because if they did have a soul, their ancestors would not have done what they did to ours, and they would continue that process. This documentary called Spies of Mississippi, one of the things in this documentary, see, after a certain, I think it was like after 20 or 40 years, they had to release all this information that they had archived. And what the people found is that when they would hold their strategy sessions, they found this list of who was all at these meetings. But it was everybody was on the list except for this one person. And they went and they confronted this guy. He was like, I'm not no spy. And part of our problem is that when we know factually that these people have been spying on us for these soulless people, we don't burn their house down. We don't put sand or sugar in their gas tank and tear up their cars. We let them continue to just move on and mill about the community. And so this is what I'm saying, because I saw something whereby they was stating that some little black preacher had said something, this, that, about Dr. King, and just because somebody said it, it does not make it true. Because we had spies from within working against our best interests. So I just want to throw that out there. And the documentary is called Spies of Mississippi. If you can watch that, because it'll show you exactly how it'll give you another perspective, how these people that don't have a soul, because you can't tell me white folks have a soul and they continue to treat black folks the way that they do in our land.
Right now, Original, would you say that, I mean, there are some white folks out there that are pretty decent, or are you saying pretty much all white folks are the same, is what you're saying?
Newstoter, I was born in 1960, and from my experience, I was taught by my family to never trust these people. And here's what my mother taught me. She said, white folks gonna be white folks. I don't care where you put them. They ain't gonna be right. They ain't gonna act right. They ain't gonna do right, because they just ain't right. So don't have any faith, trust, or belief in them, because they will fail you every time. So, and our people, that who were adults back in the 60s, 50s, and 60s or whatever, even before that, they knew these people. They dealt with these people from a blunt force, perspective. So they knew the people were low down and no good. You couldn't trust them on anything. They knew this, and what did they do? They taught us to do the same thing. And don't trust these folks. They ain't no good. So I'll land with that.
Righty. Let me go ahead and get to Ray, and then I'm gonna get to DJ. You want to go ahead first?
I'll let the family talk.
Let me get to Ray and Trouble, and then we get to DJ. Professor, you kind of quiet up there.
The professor dozed off on us.
Yeah, Professor might have cut out for us.
No, I'm still, I'm here.
I'm just messing with you, Professor.
Then let the family get it in. I'm gonna say something.
Now, what I just wanted to just throw in a little tidbit is they also need to release the J. Edgar Hoover files, because all the dirty stuff that he did, and it's also alleged.
That's what I said. They need to release his stuff too. Yeah.
They need to release, because it's alleged that J. Edgar was actually gay himself. I don't know if you heard about that. He's buried, I don't know if a lot of people know this, at that congressional cemetery out there in Washington. And he's buried, I want to say, right next to a man. His name was like Clyde Tolson. And Clyde Tolson, I want to say, was his his gay lover. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, he had a very close companion from what we heard. Yeah.
Yeah, very close, like Diddy close. And one thing that you mentioned earlier about a person being a man or woman of their time, I've never, me personally, bought into that, because that's, in my opinion, giving them a way out. Saying, oh, they were just a person of the time. That person back then knew right from wrong the same way that we in 2025 know right from wrong. They didn't give a damn. That's the truth. So I just wanted to just put that out there.
Appreciate that, Ray. And that's why they say it, like you say, that is to give them an out. So they can say, well, this person, they were a segregationist, but everybody was segregationist in that time. And, that's just the way the country was. And yeah, this person owned slaves and this and that, but that's just the way it was. And yeah, everybody was a little bit racist, but that's just the way. So it's always, when it's always that way to give it out.
Anything else just by saying that, well, it was that time. Like, no, it was wrong then. I was cool. Sorry. It was wrong then. You knew better then. They just didn't care.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, bro. My bad.
No, you good. I know it was a slip up, so let me go ahead and get to Miss Trouble.
Hey, so what Original was saying, your mom was the absolute mom. She taught you right. She told you exactly right. You know what I'm saying? You can't trust these cave beasts, and if you find a good one, throw them right back, because they ain't going to be good for long. See how they roll up in the space and change the conversation to a Jesse Smollett when they ain't had nothing to do with nothing. But anyhow, Newstoter, you had mentioned Ann Coulter earlier, and that's the example of a cave beast. You got to watch these cave critters, because Ann Coulter has been known to play both sides against the middle. She talks out of both sides.
That would be trouble. I mentioned that.
Yep. But you gotta watch these cave critters, because that's what they do. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. When Ann Coulter was sleeping with some brown, BBC. But that's what they do. They like hang around black folks, like they part of the clique. Really, they just hear, tell, and do what cave beasts do. So just watch them, because they say some good stuff, but they be stabbing you in the background. So even when they come into space, watch these cave critters, because cave critters critter like cave critters do. I land.
Wait a minute now, Trouble. Now, you come up there and say that now, just understand that JJ is still stabbing her. Dynamite!
I don't know how dynamite it is, but stab.
All righty. Okay. So Trouble decided to go ahead and get a lick in there. I see that. So all right. Shout out to Trouble. Okay. What was I going to say? Damn, something just slipped my mind. Lord, I forgot exactly what I was going to say. Shout out to that Negro. I see you down there as well, too.
Get that subscriptions in. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right, DJ. You was supposed to go. That's right, because you was supposed to go after them.
Yeah. No, it's all great. You know what I mean? But newstoter.com/customer. Make sure you get your subscription in there. $1.75 and up a month. Make sure y'all support the platform. Happy birthday, Newstoter. So I ain't really got much to say. You know, the folks saying what we saying or whatever. But MLK declassification files. Yeah, I'm more concerned of the Asian chick saying something than the files being declassified. Yeah, shut up, Chung Lee. Take your ass back to the streets of Singapore where they tricking out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Professor Wright coming over here horns. I'm not saying nobody want that. That's the wolf flu. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Asian hate is fake, man. I'm trying to tell you, Diane Yak teeth. Oh my God, you can use those great cheese. You know what I mean? Oh, lie, yo. So, and these folks be up here calling us farm equipment, slaves, saying we eat slave food, so slave food, what they do. But guess who cook fried chicken, though? You know what I'm saying? Y'all do. I ain't saying we started the fried chicken, but I'm just saying you know where it come from. You know what I'm saying? The fire. Asian lady, you know what I mean? So shout out to Brother Alton Watkins putting the work in for the Freeman Networks, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We gotta get these folks up out the paint. And you see all these folks, yeah, shout out to Black Pressure. I've definitely been hearing the same thing too. Hey man, you notice these folks being real nice to you all of a sudden, you know what I mean? But hey man, they ain't nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? I already know what it is dealing with these folks, you know what I mean? And I ain't saying all folks is bad original, but yeah, 99.99% of them. So when you do find that 1%, trouble, you kind of want to hold on to them, you know what I mean? So shout out to the white folks down for it now, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, bust somebody head for it, you know what I'm saying? We all got that one white friend, you know what I'm saying? So let's go on that, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, I guess my Angela could be right. We are more alike than we are unlike, but I think that's just because we don't really speak to each other in that sense as people in this country. So, you know, that's always going to be a long-standing feud, you know what I mean? But I'd rather be freaking with them cracking knackers than freaking with Ryback Ramaswamy. Call ice on his ass in a minute, you know what I'm saying? All these Latinos, get them up out of here. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? Word up. You ain't been no benefit to black people. It is what it is. Back to, you know, I ain't really get a chance to say much on the DEI the other day, you know what I'm saying? I was just bugging, but back to the DEI stuff, just to be talking about that again. Hey, everybody running scared now because you see these companies, they delineating from DEI and all that other stuff. When black folks gonna build our own Amazon? You feel what I'm saying? I'm on the path of damn MLK think of us right here, right now. We over here going through the same BS. You know what I'm saying? I think he'd be disappointed, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it don't matter what it is you say. It's too far. We in too deep now, El Cool J. You know what I'm saying? We standing on business. We coming to get our check. You know what I'm saying? I may have led my people to a burner house, but it's all right, though, because we all got to go through something in order to know how to get up out of it. So that's why we built everything in this country. So we ain't got to sweat nothing. We just got to keep striving on, man. So I guess I'll get the 14th Amendment thing. Yeah, you can't keep me up out of here. You know what I'm saying? My people died for this, you know what I'm saying? We bled for this, you know what I'm saying? We fought in every war and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll be damned, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna have to fight, you know what I'm saying? In the story, rather be in a courtroom or somewhere out in the field, you know what I'm saying? So that it is what it is with that, you know what I mean? Moving on. Sullivan Henderson thing, I kind of agree with, I think Richard said with the, could be Tether gang, you know, ain't no one seen the parents. Might not even had any parents. I think someone said he was adopted. I could be wrong, but I hardly looked into it myself. You know, just getting over this damn illness that's floating around everywhere. But yeah, that's a definite factor for sure. You know what I mean? That his folks could be Tether gang, and that's the whole reason why you ain't heard from him. Because yeah, where the parents at? Because didn't they send? Who was the last parents they sent to jail? I think it's the Buffalo shooter. I think they sent them to jail, and there was another set of parents. So it's like, lock these parents up too. Where they at? Why your son get a gun? You know what I'm saying? What was the situation in school? All this other stuff, because you know we come from the era like, man, if you just had a fight at school, your parents just showing up the next day, or you getting suspended or whatever. And that was that. But everybody want to be told now, so it's like damn, the real argument should be is like, damn, get a black eye versus just want to go straight for the steal and shit, just the steal and just get the gunning on the neck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we got to talk about that part, man. You know what I mean? So Solomon Henderson, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? You know, kids, you know, they could have been really bullying them, messing with them. I'm pretty sure that's a factor, but I think kids nowadays is just too gung-ho, man. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, because I'll be trying to tell my little cousins that, like, yo, y'all infatuated with the steal too much, but for like all the wrong reasons, you know what I mean? And then you see also as well, like a lot of lawyers are starting to lawyer up with these class action lawsuits against video game companies, saying that video games is addictive, you know, this, that, and the third. Now, next thing you're going to say that, hey, video games caused me to kill somebody. That's going to be the next wave. You'll watch, you know what I mean?
Didn't they try to say that at one time?
DJ, we grew up probably playing the most violent video games ever, from Mortal Kombat to 007, and we went out here doing all that craziness in the 90s. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm with you. But hold on, we still grew up on a lot of Pac-Man and, you feel what I'm saying, Mario Brothers. These kids don't want to play that. The older they get, you know, it's Call of Duty. You get, you know what I'm saying? It's Fortnite or whatever, you know what I mean? They want to play FPS games, first-person shooters, you know what I mean? I'm with it. I'm down with the Killzone stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't going out there to be Killzone for real, you know what I'm saying? Got too much to live for, and I ain't trying to harm nobody else. You ain't trying to harm me. That's the only rule of life right there. So it's like, I think these video games are maybe a little bit too violent nowadays. Because I'm a gamer, bro, straight through and through. You know what I'm saying? I got every PlayStation there. You know, any game you want, yeah, we can play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I think it's getting to the point maybe some of these games are being too realistic and not enough with the fun. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I play Killzone or something, I know that's fake because, you know, I'm fighting aliens or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though they say aliens is real too. But, yeah, you know, for the most part, man, it's like, you know, they're taking the fun out of the game. And then let's add in you got to pay for all this download content. So Kanye was right. We was telling Kanye to shut up back then about that.
I was going to say, DJ,
Right.
let's not get too far from the topic, though.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, I don't know, man. Solomon Henderson, it is what it is with that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, rest in peace to the folks that lost their life, man. That's it. And, yeah, rest the parents. But go ahead, Black Majority, whoever wants to speak.
Yeah, it's Black, and then we got Just Cakes and Professor. Shout out, I see Rella down there, too. Shout out to you, Rella. Shout out to Simply. Oh, I see my girl Stephanie down there as well, too. So shout out to Miss Stephanie as well, too. Black, how you doing tonight?
Okay, good evening. Happy birthday, Newstoter, of course.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you hit the 5-0 yet?
No, not quite. I'm not quite there, but I ain't that far away from it either, though. So
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So shout out to all the mid-centurions in the building. Original had asked about, and this is the 14th minute. Original had asked about these native persons getting tribal citizenship. And so what I sent him, and I don't know if you saw it from the social account, is that U.S. territories, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, etc., when they basically absorbed those territories into the United States, as they still remain as territories, not technically states, but they wrote a law to give them citizenship in the U.S. And it's likely when those tribal nations, whenever they got done with all their negotiations, yada, yada, et cetera, because initially, my understanding is that the tribes didn't necessarily want U.S. citizenship. They didn't necessarily see value in it, so they weren't really open to it. Same way the Puerto Ricans weren't necessarily open to that initially. But eventually they came around, and then they created a law to give them citizenship because, again, they probably at that point saw it as somewhat beneficial. But it's because they were considered citizens of their individual nations, which is essentially how tribes operate. So that's probably why there was a different conference of citizenship on nations and territories versus, you know, what happened to our people. So I hope that kind of gives people a little more understanding of that part. Shout out to Brother Ray and Judge Joe Brown, because I think it's important for, and I don't know if he said that publicly, but I think it's important for him to kind of push the brakes a little bit on some of this stuff, because the reality is that, again, these are weapons of war. When they write legislation, these are weapons of war. They can be weaponized. Doesn't have to be this administration. It can be the next or the next or the next, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we should be very cautious about the way they change laws, because the interpretation can change over time, and it always does, and it always has, and it always will. That's a part of the system. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was Solomon Henderson. You know, rest in peace to his victims. But whether he's a Black American or not, and I've seen people post that he's not necessarily from the collective lineage, there is this growing youth suicide amongst our community. And social media likely plays a much bigger role in it than many people may realize or understand. At a time when people are, you know, they're going through puberty, they're going through chemical changes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're vulnerable to whatever these attacks are. And I think these are demonic attacks from demonic spaces and places. We know there's all these dark holes you can fall into on the internet. And so for any, you know, child or young teenager or even a young adult that's struggling with that, I hope and pray that someone sees it, recognizes the signs, and intervenes with that individual, especially, you know, a young melanated, young Black American individual in this country and society, because there is so much pressure on being a young Black male in this society that it's kind of easy to lose yourself in a lot of this. And I often think, when I was younger, if I had the internet, I think I would be wealthy. So do with that what you will. But I also know that there would have been a lot of trap doors for me to fall into as a young person who was very curious and you know, expressing things in different ways. So rest in peace to his victims. Whatever he was into, I hope no other Black child, young adult, young teen ever gets trapped up in any of that. To MLK and his legacy, I love what Original said about that, because I totally agree that they can manipulate and fabricate whatever they want. I've tried not to repost that stuff because I just don't really see any value in it. I would follow the lead of his family and what they have to say about it, or how they characterize any of that information, and I wouldn't really you know, grasp onto the sensationalism when it comes to you know, our elder and one of our greatest leaders, who really understood towards the end that the country needed a restructuring, and I think he was talking about a systemic restructuring of equity. I think that was really what he was saying in that clip where he talks about reparations. He also talked about this restructuring of the country. And so I think he was becoming more politically astute, and may have even contemplated running for office, in which he would have won in the Atlanta, Georgia region, for instance. He would have won hands down. It would have been a landslide victory for him. So the last thing I want to say is with Trump. I think what's happening with Trump is you're setting up this MAGA loyalists who are very reactionary versus the federal court system. And because what's happening is he's throwing a lot of stuff at the wall. He's throwing it, he's just boom, boom, executive order, boom, 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 and is going into federal court, and they're whoever's filing, if it's states, if it's corporations, I don't know, if it's individuals, they're getting the federal courts to stop these actions as they come out, as quickly as they come out. Not all of them, but many of them that are structural changes. The federal courts are letting these injunctions pause whatever he's trying to do. Now, what this could do is it could either clog the Supreme Court and they got all of these cases that they got to hear, or they just simply pick and choose which ones they want to hear, because They either want to move that issue forward, or they want to make it very clear that this is not going forward under their watch. So it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. But I think ultimately what he's doing is white reconstruction. White reconstruction. I think that this Project 2025, when you really get deep into the layers of it, many people were sort of, and I don't understand this at all. Oh, great, yeah, let's go. Project 2025, this is not going to hurt us at all. When in fact, it will. And whatever benefit we got out of any of these programs, we got a benefit, even if it was 1%, even in federal contracting. And I say again, when that goes away and they don't have any repercussions, then any benefit goes away. And the Democrats, in my opinion, they're not coming to rush in and to try to, make this thing or resolve it in any way. Republicans certainly are not, because that's the whole, is to try to recreate this white utopia. Make America again is make white America great again. Really and truly, the W's missing, but that's the intent and purpose of it. And so people are thinking, okay, cool, I'm going to get in the car with these people, and I'm a with these folks, knowing, like everybody else should be aware, that once your usage is up, once they're done using you, even that children of slaves, to me, is him using us in order to get policy through that he wants to get through, so he can get what he wants to get out of us without offering us anything for the sacrifice that created that corporations. And I responded to Ann Coulter because she quote tweeted Tariq's tweet of that clip where she's like, yeah, whoopie-woo, but meanwhile corporations benefit from the 14th Amendment the most. The most. So there's a lot of layers to it. I'll land on that, but I think we gotta really start understanding what's really going on. Project 2025, white reconstruction, and thanks for allowing me to speak.
As always, great to hear from you, Black Majority State. Let me go ahead and I got to give a shout out to Miss Trigger. Miss Trigger, thank you once again for the contribution. Let me go ahead and get to my girl, Jess Cakes. Jess Cakes, how you doing tonight, sweetie?
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate the well wishes.
I just wanted to I don't have Cash App. I had a scammer try to get my stuff, and I just never grabbed it back up. But I got you.
Oh, you good? You good?
He said hi too.
Oh, hey.
Happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Okay, Papa. Come on now. All right, enough. You all right? What I wanted to say is, I don't know when they're gonna just declassify, but the files. But I'm right in the same path with everybody else as far as like what's really the point? What are we gonna learn that we don't know already, and how is that gonna affect everything? Like I stated yesterday, it's unnerving the things that's going on because of the future effects of how it could be interpreted. But more than anything right now, what I've been kind of distracted with is these letters that these Democratic mayors get to come to Congress and stuff like that. I really want to see how that's going to unfold. I don't know if y'all seen the press conference with Chicago dictator Brandon Johnson. He was sweating bullets up there. He looked nervous. So I just really want to see how that's going to unfold. I really hope he catch a charge because he deserved that and more. I hope Eric Adams don't get to weasel up out of it. And the fact that you got some Venezuelan gangs partying it up in Colorado, it's more the same everywhere wherever they landed. And when these mayors get asked about public safety, because that's what they're going to answer for. They're going to answer for their policies as far as being a sanctuary city and the public safety and how it affects us. I hope they charge them with treason. I wish Joe Biden could have got charged with that as well. As far as the declassifications in the 14th Amendment, I kind of touched on that yesterday. My feelings are the same. As far as the little school shooter and stuff like that, that's how I feel about that is we kind of got to get back to what we used to be as far as a community and stuff like that. Not saying it's our fault. I'm just saying that when we move our kids out here to these suburbs and stuff like that, where they might be the lone or the black dot in the white sea, we got to make sure when they coming home that we reaffirming them and that we making sure that they straight. Because too many times they go into those areas thinking that they could be and do the same things, and once they realize they can't, they kind of crash out. So that's all I got to say about that. And again, happy birthday. I just wanted to get off the mic real quick. And much love.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. It sounds like the little one is having a good time. He's up, so he's gonna be up for a little while tonight. So shout out to the little one, and hopefully down the road he'll be hosting spaces and podcasts and dropping knowledge for everybody as well too. So shout out to my sister Jess Cakes and her little one as well too. Let me give a shout out also to Simply Rick for the contribution on Cash. I appreciate that as always. Simply Rick for always supporting as well too. Appreciate that, brother. I said we got Boss Player up in here. We got Mr. Twizzer up in here. Let me go ahead and get to the Twizzer, man, and then I'm gonna get to Original and Professor as well too.
Man, happy birthday to a real one, man. My daughter's birthday tomorrow, man. So shout out to the Aquarius.
Oh, shout out to that. And tell the daughter we said happy early birthday as well too. I think my uncle birthday a day before mine too. We got about 7-8 family members in January.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to the Aquarius co-part about it. My nephew's birthday next week, and he having a Super Bowl party. So shout out to y'all, man. I can't cuss in here, but I mess with y'all Aquarius. You know?
Hey, I hate that Twizzler because until they moved the damn Super Bowl to February, I used to occasionally have my birthday would fall on a Super Bowl Sunday. So and then they moved it to February, so that killed that. But shout out though. What's going on with you tonight, player?
Man, I can't complain one bit. If I did, nobody would listen, man. You know what I'm saying? So I heard it was your birthday, so I just came in to say what's up, man. You know, I'm gonna take care of you on the Cash App this weekend, man. You know, I got caught unsuspectedly, you know what I'm saying? But as they say, a real player stay ready, so you don't gotta get ready, you know what I'm saying? But you somebody, so I'm not gonna send you something, you know, I'm gonna send you something to your caliber, you understand me? So hey, happy birthday to you, player, you know, and enjoy your day. Congratulations on another trip around the sun, man, because we all won. You know what I'm saying? So here's to you, Newstoter.
Definitely, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, and thank you for always coming. Now, did you now even though you came to wish a happy birthday, did you want to drop anything on the title or the MLK Declassified, the crazy Solomon Henderson cat, 14th Amendment? I mean, if you want to drop something before you drop down or whatever.
Man, this stuff been going on so tough right now. I'm just kind of excited about what's going on right now because as I drive down the streets, we don't have that much traffic no more with these immigrants driving down the street. Not only that, a lot of my partners been telling me they be getting overtime like hell because a lot of people haven't been showing up to work lately, man. So, hey, shout out to Donald Trump being a man of his word, man, because, hey, they talking about progress. This progress is being felt. We're feeling it already. You know what I'm saying? These people they don't know what to do. They're running for the border. They're running for anything that they can grab, and they make Taco Bell look like a fast food chain. You know what I'm saying? They running for the border for real. And, you know, I ain't really too much about anything in the 14th Amendment. Shout out to Donald Trump for saying it, but I don't know, man. I'm a thinking man. And how he said it is like it was for slaves, you know? It kind of had me just thinking. You know what I'm saying? So it's an old saying, be careful for what we wish for because we just might get it. So I'm kind of watching Donald Trump right now. You know, I'm not happy. I'm not, you know, I'm kind of watching it because I know how to read words. I know how to read between the lines. And I'm just really tripping on shit, you know?
And plus two, he's still gonna want retaliation and revenge for Letitia James, that other dude, the other mayor in Detroit, Alvin Bragg, and then the little no-neck little chick down there in Atlanta. What's her name? Fannie Willis. But, he's still gonna want some retaliation, some revenge towards that. So let's see what he's gonna try to do. If we gonna have to suffer for what they did. But hey, I'm glad for the policies right now, because up here in San Francisco, they going crazy as hell because they got a lot of these Asians, a lot of these Chinamans up here in political positions of power, and they can't even they can't even speak a lick of English. You know what I'm saying? Right now, look what's happening down there in LA with the firestorms, right? Up here in San Francisco, they just elected a fire chief, an Asian fire chief. She knows English, and she don't come from a firefighter background. Just imagine how that's going to turn out. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to the progress that's being made, man, and shout out to the people, because it's only the beginning. We're in a war. We may win a battle, but we still got a fight coming up. So let's go all gas, no brakes, y'all. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate that, Twizzle. Thank you. Shout out Jamal on YouTube for the happy birthday shout out. So I appreciate that. You're right, Twizzle. Like I said, like we don't have a big, and I'm in North Florida. We don't have a big Latino population here in Tallahassee, but I have not seen as many, because I had took my sons to the barber shop a couple weeks ago, and we was talking about the immigration and everything, and I'm like, well, damn, I mentioned it. I say, is it just me? I said, I don't see a whole bunch of them up here. Now, they were up here protesting today. They was in front of the Capitol down there and stuff like that. So they were protesting. And matter of fact, we had a immigration lawyer on TV talking about doing paperwork for the illegals and giving them a power of attorney and all kind of stuff that he was talking about, filling out and telling them, hey, don't let them into your house without paperwork and this and that or whatever. So they were getting some legal advice from this cat that was on the local news up here, but I have not seen as much. And like I said before, the population of Hispanics in Tallahassee is probably maybe 3%. But man, I don't see that many now. And they was doing raids right up here. They was doing raids in Tallahassee and the surrounding counties and stuff like that today. They showed them actually arresting and stuff like that. And Rick, what's his name? What's the idiot? DeSantis was talking about even making some harsher, because he felt like the actual laws that they had in place wasn't harsh enough, that trying to crack down on them even harder. And I get what you're saying towards the two about Donald Trump, and I'll just let it be known, like I didn't trust Joe Biden one lick, and I don't trust Donald Trump one lick either. Like, I mean, Trump is he's doing what he said he was going to do. He's making good on his campaign promise so far. He's showing that, hey, he's willing to go after these illegals. But I want everybody to really, really think. I don't believe there's no way in hell that they're going to arrest 500,000 people or deport 500,000 to 1 million people in one calendar year. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's possible. I don't even think big business is going to allow that to happen. I think big business is going to come in and say, hey, Trump, you got to chill on this.
Calendar year. It's impossible for one calendar year, but it is possible. His administration.
Oh, yeah, his administration. Yeah, I don't doubt that. But they're talking about, yeah, they talking about half 500,000 to 1 million people in one calendar year. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all.
You know how you can cancel that? I see it possible. You know how you can cancel that? Just kill the money. See, he's talking about going after all the money that these illegals get, like with the food stamps and the Social Security and all that. Once he killed that money, that's going to kill their resources, and they're not going to have nothing no more. And once he start going after these landlords who rent to them and these employers who employ them, that's going to kill everything. And I think they would just fucking leave. Excuse me. I think they would just up and leave. Because one thing for sure, you need resources. And once they start losing their resources, then what? That's the only reason why they're here, is for resources. And once you cut off their water, then what? You know what I'm saying? They're going to go back home. And I really feel like they didn't enough. They didn't accumulated enough resources to where they can go back home fat cash, because they always talking about how these immigrants contribute to the economy, but they feel the real money they sent from California. Kids get paid there at a Western Union or an old school. Remember what it was, Western Union or the other ways that you send money. Now they can do it with Cash App now. But man, back in the days, Every time they got paid, they were sending money back to Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador or any one of the Mexican had taco eating stands from places. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were doing. So you mean to tell me that now that they're getting a nice resources, these women are getting $15,000 a month in food stamps with a $5,000 cash voucher? You mean to tell me they're not sending some of that back to Guatemala or little Guadalupe somewhere? Come on, bro. They ain't gonna mind. They're not gonna mind going back home because they sent so much back home to where they probably got mansions or condos and they probably gonna open up resorts because they were milking they were sucking the teeth off the Statue of Liberty. They were sucking the teeth off American capitalism so much to where they got fat. You know, they fattened up for the winter, so they knew when this time was coming, they got enough to go with, especially like the ones with all these cars. Like all these Mexicans out here got brand new trucks. I guarantee you see a brand new truck, you're going to see a little 5-foot Mexican with a head like a bowling ball in that thing. You know what I'm saying? They taking that stuff back to Mexico with them. They new cars, these new Benzes, these new Toyotas, these new SUVs. You think they're going to turn them back over when they get kicked out? No, they going across the border, re-tag them, and they going to be out there living and laughing at America, talking about what they got from America, what they doing right now. They out there, just as you cross the American border, they out there bragging and laughing about what they got from America right now. Making us look healthy. Man, I can't help it, but they're making us look so stupid, you know? But go ahead, Newstoter.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, you was on fire. You was on fire. I mean, you out there, and like I say, I'm in Florida too. I'm in the northern part. I grew up down south in South Florida. Now, South Florida. I'll be very interested to see how everything is going in Palm Beach, Broward County, which is Fort Lauderdale, Dade County, which is Miami, the Tampa areas, Orlando, all of those places down there, man. Because I believe from what I can remember, I believe they say in Florida there's something like 770,000 illegal immigrants here, or something like that, some crazy number like that. I'm like, damn, you close to 1 million illegals in the state of Florida. So you can imagine nationwide what that number is looking like as well too. So it's gonna be it's starting to really get there. And I know a few people that actually do that is a little bit nervous. I know a couple brothers and stuff that own construction companies, and they do use, the brothers say they do use some of these Mexicans and stuff for like labor and stuff like that. So I wonder how they feel about the situation as well too, because they will go up there to Home Depot and Lowe's and they will pick them up for the day, and they will have them working on those sites as well too. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing play out. Appreciate you.
That's where OSHA's finna come in and start going to these sites, trying to, going through these people paperwork. You know what I'm saying? That's what's finna happen. OSHA and these contractors and these states and these county supervisors, we pay taxes. You know what I mean? We pay federal, state, city, and local tax. You know what I'm saying? So all those folk taxes, man, we want these to see who needs to be who, because these can be American jobs. You know what I'm saying? American jobs that's going to pay American taxes, that's going to stay in America. That's one thing they fail to realize. This immigrant money is leaving America. That's why we in a freaking recession. If these immigrants contributed so much, okay, they say almost 5 to 10 million came in, our economy should be booming. Our economy should be flush. We shouldn't be in a deficit right now. But they are stealing. These immigrants are stealing, and they're giving it to them, and they're letting them do it. And this is the $1 million thing, y'all. We all know if this was black people, come on, boy, it'll be another civil war. We'll be getting killed left and right. These police, these rednecks, these inbreds, these knuckle draggers, you know what I mean? They'd be going crazy out here. But yet, these immigrants are doing it all. They just wait. They turn a blind eye. They're pinching their nose, you know what I'm saying? It's, well, just as long as it ain't no hater, you know what I mean? Come on, man. For real.
Yes.
I said this before. They'll sell out America. They'll sell out America before they let us have our fair share. Go ahead, Newstoter.
Like I said, you on fire though. I mean, I got to give it to you. And they're talking about, that's why I said the immigration lawyer was on TV today here in Tallahassee, and he was saying how catastrophic it would be if you were to go ahead and get these illegals out of here and stuff like that, and how they contribute to the economy and everything else like that as well too. So that's the main thing that people and I got people in my family saying the same thing as well too. Like, well, who's gonna do these jobs and this and that or whatever. And I keep telling them, I say, well, Who did these jobs before you had all of the illegals and stuff coming over here before? It was black Americans. Black Americans, you had some poor white folks out there as well too. I like all of this stuff got done. Let's not forget that the country, the United States of America, was still the biggest economy, still the richest nation on earth before like you start having mass immigration, just over the past, let's just say over the past 30 years, it was still the biggest. I said, now, if you pay people a livable wage, you pay black people a livable wage, they'll go out there and do it. But if you're sitting up here talking about you're going to pay black people like they were sharecroppers back in 1910, no, they're not going to go out there and do this back-breaking hard work out here in the sun and out here in the cold for peanuts.
No, a lot of people don't agree with dude, but that's what J.D. Vance said when that little Mexican lady from the New York Times tried to question him, talking about, mostly the construction industry is like 60 to 70% Hispanics. He was like, so who's going to build these new houses? And J.D. Vance checked her, like, just like the same people who build the houses in the Reconstruction Act in the 1960s after World War II. The same people, It's just that people, if you're going to hire an American, you're going to have to pay an American wage. We're not going to work for penny. Come on. This is not like when I got my first job when I was in high school, when I was working for $5 an hour. Them days is over. It's not 1991.
Tell them minimum wage. My first job was $4.25 an hour minimum wage at Winn-Dixie. So,
bro, my first job out of high school was painting. I was an apprentice painter, and I was $5 an hour. And then when I got my first raise of $9 an hour, you couldn't tell me SHIT back in those days. If you got a job for $15 an hour, that was like $30 an hour, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. But yet at the same time, too, I paid taxes. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take my money and send it nowhere else or give it to nobody else. I paid taxes and I contributed to my household, to my family. You know what I'm saying? These immigrants, bro, they're sending money back home to where when they have to leave, they're going to go back to a fat nest. They're over here to work. They're over here to steal. And what you were saying earlier, what I want to hop them on, I don't care who helped them or tell them what right, whatever they can do, whatever. You're an illegal citizen. You have no rights. You have no rights to stand on. Did you see that? Did you see that up there in Chicago when them immigrants who's supposed to be working up there talking about Homeland Security came out and ICE came into that school to get rid of those children and everything, but they stood their ground and they didn't let them in. Come to find out, it wasn't ICE. It was Secret Service. The dude from schools, the man who's in charge of the schools in Chicago, some Mexican dude named Perez, he stood up there and lied. This dude got an accent. And then you have another lady who's supposed to be in charge of the school district in that area. The Hispanic lady looked like a Oompa Loompa with an accent, talking about, we stood by and we did not let them in. I'm like, y'all not supposed to be here. And this is what killed me with politics right now. We got these so-called immigrants in politics, or these first anchor babies born. What gave them the right, the authority, or the audacity to tell national-born American citizens on what to do, on how to act, how to think, or how to live? Go ahead, Professor G.
Yeah, all right, Trilla. Dropping that knowledge, man. Thank you for coming up here and dropping that for us, man. And I just want to say, family, I've been sitting back just laughing at these videos. So I'm going to point you to the Jumbotron. I think it's 5 images to the left. 5 to the left, you'll see a video up there that says Libs of TikTok, right? Libs of TikTok. You probably have seen that all throughout the spaces and throughout Twitter, where this person is posting videos of these immigrants as they catching them as they being deported, right? Well, here's a situation where they landed in Colombia, and the woman is telling the people, do not go to America because they deported everybody out of there. So I want y'all to understand this is some serious stuff, man, because these immigrants came in here disrespecting, taking, like Trilla said, stealing. And don't forget that one video up there, I think it was in Chicago, where you had that Mexican male hollering at a black female sister, telling her that No more money for you. No more money for you. No more money for you.
That
Lazy.
fat motherfucker. Yeah, a little fat.
Yeah.
You lazy. You lazy. Yeah. Where was
Kind of disrespect.
Remember the language, though. Remember the language, guys.
Explain to us, y'all. So as I look at these videos, I had to post this one here because this lady, she's crying and she got a baby. You can see she got a baby up there. But look, they trying to make you feel sympathy for these folks. We just can't do it anymore. And then also, family, I threw in the jumbotron. They are deporting the Asian knackers about here, using DJ's term right there, the knackers, right? So China has agreed. China has agreed to take back its citizens, y'all. Donald Trump, this man. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you now. I don't trust DT, but I'm gonna tell you something. When he say he gonna do something, he's doing it. So he told China, look, if you don't take these folks back, we're gonna hit you with the tariffs. So China has agreed to take its citizens back that are living over here illegally, because there have been a bunch of them coming in here illegally too. If you go back and look at old videos, you will see where there was some Chinese guys that looked like they had the military cuts that were coming across that border along with these South American immigrants and Mexican immigrants. So it's a bunch of these folks coming up in here. So yeah, we want them all up out of here. We want them fish smelling Asians up out of here. We want the illegal jumper border up out of here. We want these black. We want these black diaspora up out of here, wherever they come from, Caribbeans and the Bahamians. We want them all up out of here. And as a matter of fact, if that Chihuahua is illegal, we want it up out of here. We want everything up out of here that's illegal. So I'm gonna lay right there.
Now let me ask you a question real quick, Professor. I'm gonna get to original. Do you honestly think that in 2025, do you honestly think, let's just and forget the million or the half of million, do you honestly think they're gonna actually deport at least, let's say, 250,000 people out of here this year?
I think they can do that. I think they can do that before spring.
Yeah, because the way he's doing it, he's beastly, man. Like he's sending
agents everywhere. Yeah, I think 250,000 is possible.
Yeah, they sending agents everywhere, man. Like it's agents all over the country going and getting people, man. Like
the only thing is that I don't know. It seemed like, I mean, with the amount of the amount of legals, because just in Florida, and I know Florida is the third largest state, depending on which statute, like it's either third or fourth. But Florida's got over 700 some thousand illegals themselves. So fact in the entire country, do you have the manpower to actually go out there and to get all these people and to be able to go ahead and deport them like that?
Yeah,
they really do, man. Because I'm gonna tell you that's why if you go back, total, he said, I'm giving authorization to the ICE. He said the Secret Service. He said the FBI. He's giving authorization to all of the federal agencies to move on this. That's why he has the manpower, because he's combining all of the federal agencies to move on this. That's why they're doing it like that. That's why Tom Homan, if you look at Tom Homan, he's out there even trying to round these people up. Then guess what? That lady that just took over the Department of Homeland Security, she was out there this morning. Kristen Noem, I think is her name. That was the governor up there in North Dakota. Now she's out there also trying to get these folks up out of it. So this is something that Trump is really serious about doing, y'all, is getting these folks up out of here. And I understand people say, like some of these other blacks from the diaspora have been talking about, well, what about the fact that they going after the kids, and we shouldn't be so mean and nasty. This is not us. I don't care what y'all folks say from these other diasporas. Y'all get up out of here too. Y'all need to get up out of here too, because you have been a thorn in our side too. So after they get these brown ones up out of here, they can get these black ones up out of here, these Asians and the Caribbeans and Nigerians, whatever they call themselves, they can get up out of here too. Like I said, even with the Chihuahuas, If they illegal, get them to put all the Chihuahuas on a plane and deport them back over there. Everybody just needs to go because they have come over here trying to sabotage. And then out there in California, let's talk about them setting fires to our Black American family homes out there. See what I'm talking about? Black Americans got to wake up, man. We shouldn't be sitting here catering for nobody that don't want us around, that's trying to bomb us out of our homes, that's coming up in meetings about, no more money for you. Yeah, you lazy. You lazy. I mean, come on, man, get your taco Chihuahua stuff up out of here. We don't need you here, okay? We don't need these folks up here. Y'all living up in trailers, like there's a bunch of them around here, man, be living up in trailers like cockroaches. That's why they made that song, La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha. That's you. That was stupid.
All right, let me go. Let me go ahead and get to a original. We ain't gonna keep it open too much.
Stupid. Go ahead.
You got it, original.
Yeah, Newstoter, I just want to make you aware again, this file that we have in the Newstoter archive. I sent DJ a copy of Dr. King's New Year's resolution speech. He gave that speech in January of the year that he was murdered. And when if it fits into the platform, if possible, that it can be played so people can hear what Dr. King, he told us about how we need to accept ourselves as being Black, that ain't nothing wrong with us. And one of the things that he said that hair that is straight is like that of the monkey and the gorilla. He said hair that is not is removed from that. I'm paraphrasing now, but yeah, that's in the Newstoter archive. So if it fits into the platform, you might be able to play that when they release these documents, so people can hear how Dr. King was trying to move us and how he wanted us to know that there is nothing wrong with us. It's them and our land.
All right. Appreciate that, original. Appreciate that. Rel, I see you down there. I don't know if you may want to come up here. I'm not going to keep this going too much long. Anybody want to add anything real quick?
I just want to say this, man. We finna make a rule as of this day forward. It ain't no more Taco Tuesday. From now on, it's Turkey Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna leave this tequila alone. I'm finna go back to vodka. Fuck these, screw those, them people from down that way. And ain't no more Taco Tuesday. It's Turkey Tuesday. So every Tuesday, somebody try to eat turkey, whether it's ground turkey, smoked turkey, turkey sausage or something. You know what I mean? No more Taco Tuesday. It's Turkey Tuesday. We finna kill that. You know what I mean? This is America. You know.
All right. Appreciate that, Twizzle. Let me go ahead and get my girl. I saw Stephanie. Was Stephanie coming up here? Oh, okay. There she goes. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Happy birthday. How are you?
Well, thank you, Miss Stephanie. I am doing very, very well. I appreciate you wishing me well wishes, and thank you also for the donation earlier as well, too, sweetie.
You got it. My birthday just passed 2 weeks ago, so I just wanted to share it with a fellow.
Another January person.
I'm a January baby, yes. I was born January the 9th. But anywho, great space. Shout out to Professor and DJ and Twiz and Original and everybody that spoke. Salute to each and every one of y'all.
Shout out to the Capricorns.
Of course, we lovable people. I just want to say this was a very informative space. Your spaces are always informative. This is why I always come in. I haven't been in the past few weeks because I've been working my head off, basically. I work 2 jobs, so it's not easy, coming in and working. So I'm at work now, but while I have the time, I figure I might as well say something. Remember how they lied on a lot of our Black civil rights leaders, the Black Panthers, and and so forth. So we know what to expect from these people when they put a lot of the stuff on our leaders and say things that obviously or most likely wasn't true. I'm just glad that everything is coming to light, and the King family was not too happy with some of the information that was put out there, just to let you know. And Twiz was 100% right about these people sending money back home. They're sending back hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay? They send it back. And, you know, the country itself is making money off of that. So my thing is, if these people were talking about coming to build a country, right? They had it in the paper last year that there were so many job opportunities in Mexico. They looked at the signs and they just said, nope, I'm heading straight towards the U.S. So that tells you what their intentions were if they already passed jobs in their country, but they decided to come to the United States. They knew what they were about to get into. So it's not like these people are actually, you know, these people are slow. They knew exactly what they was getting into. Far as that Mexican guy or whatever country he's from that said no more money for you, they actually put out a notice. They put his picture out and everything. They looking for that guy right now. So yes, put him on notice, because see, that's what happens when you run your mouth so much and you want the attention. You're going to get the attention that you don't really want. So I'm glad that they put that post out there. I hope they find him, and I hope they catch him. So that way we can say no more money for you, and you can go to hell back home. So another thing too, they're hiding. There was a thing that came out of Chicago, and they're saying that they're calling this movement the New Underground Railroad. Okay, I just want to give y'all that information and put it out there in case you hear it. So I got word. I even reposted it, posted it like last week, because I wanted people to retweet it. And, you know, like I said, for them to call it the Underground Railroad, to me, is disgusting, because you're taking away from the legacy of what our ancestors fought for. Our ancestors were fighting for life and death, and you're taking and making a mockery of it to save immigration. To save these illegals. So we gotta kind of jump on top of these things before it really starts and get out of control. Another thing too, as far as the reservations, and they putting these people, they capturing Navajos and all these other people, these Native Americans. That's basically what it is the Mexican drug cartel has started seizing control of about 8 Indian reservations. So they pretty much took over the reservations. A lot of them don't want to speak out about it because they're afraid to speak out about it. And a lot of them want the government to intervene. So it's not like they were just absolutely going after the Indians. They were actually going after the drug cartels that took over some of those reservations. So I just want to give some clarity to that. If I find the article, I'm going to put the article in the purple pill or put it on your timeline. As far as this kid, Solomon Henderson, I read the story. I researched it a little bit. I didn't fully get into it. But he just had a severe form of self-hate. And I think what happened is when we want better education for our kids, they kind of don't stand out with the black community, but they also don't stand out with the white community. So they kind of do whatever to try to fit in. And then when they hear all of the negative stereotypes and the jokes about black people, they kind of feel bad and start hating themselves. So I think he just fell in the line of he's caught around certain groups of people and he started taking on the characteristics, and, you know, it just went down from there. But I really feel bad for the victims. But I think once his parents started noticing the change in him, they should have took him and got some help for him or tried to figure the whole thing out. I mean, and that's basically it. But as far as the 14th Amendment goes, Twiz, you were spot on with that, because I peeped the game when he said something about the descendants of slaves. We have to clarify which slaves he is talking about, because now you got people from other places are saying, well, we're a part of the Americas too. He was talking about us. Well, actually, he wasn't, because guess who had control of your country? Your countries. It was people from the Great Britain. Well, England. England had control of your lands. It wasn't the United States.
And Spain.
And they're trying to use that because some woman says she went and got some lawyers for some woman who says she was Black American, but she's of Jamaican descent. That makes no sense for me, because the 14th Amendment does not apply to you. It applies to someone who has birthright citizenship here, who was born of freed slaves or slave descendants. You can't ride off of that coattail, and I hope that gets challenged. I'm not trying to be mean, but a lot of this stuff has to be challenged in court, or the Supreme Court or the appellate court, and that's my whole take on that. But so
Hey, Stephanie, can I say this before I forget? This is where delineation comes in, and this is how, when we said the foundation of Black American term is a lineage-based thing, this is where all that reverberates to, and this is why we stand on lineage. This is why we stand on lineage-based claim. You know what I'm saying? Because how you said that lady just tried to come in and try to file a claim saying she was eligible, but she doesn't have a lineage that goes back to that. Like me, my lineage goes to 1851. You know what I'm saying? So I am foundational. You know what I'm saying? This is what, man, shout out to you, Stephanie, because that is, man, that's the proof, and that is our evidence with delineation to lineage base. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Queen. That was beautiful.
Oh, you got it, Twiz. Anytime. But I just wanted to say that we really need to start. We definitely got to be like pit bulls. We got to really start guarding our house. And you know what I mean by house? I mean our lineage. That's our house. Nobody gets into our house unless they have actual lineage to our claim. Other than that, the gates stay up. And I'm just going to land with that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Stephanie. And I'm glad you got a chance to come up here and speak. A lot of our people, they do work at nighttime and they still find a way to listen and sometimes come up and speak as well, too. So I definitely appreciate you guys. I know you doing your thing. Some of y'all be on the road. Some of you be doing whatever second job you have. So we appreciate you coming in and taking time and participating in the conversation, or just listeners, which is still helpful to the platform as well, too, guys. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'm thinking about maybe doing one more space this week. I'm not entirely sure, guys. If not, then you'll be back next week. But I'm not entirely sure we're going to do another one this week. But by next week, we will get back in the full swing, at least doing 2 to 3 spaces a week. I was out, of course, last week, sick and everything. So definitely done got better. And I do appreciate all you guys that came in here to listen to the conversation, partake, and to also wish me a happy birthday. So I'll let you guys know I definitely appreciate that as well, too.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
How many trips is this?
How many trips, age-wise? Yeah. Oh, shoot. We ain't hitting 50 yet, but we ain't far away. we ain't that far. We ain't far away, but we definitely we got a few more years before we get there. But we ain't that far away. Like, it's crazy to think. When I look at it, I'm like, damn, boy, like time really flies. So I'm getting up there.
Enjoy while you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm definitely in.
Birthday to you, Pimp. Birthday to you. And I see you need to do one this weekend, man, because a lot of people don't know it was your birthday. I just happened to slide in here. You know what I'm saying? You should have announced it. You should have put it in the title, man, because a lot of people don't know. If they seen it in the title, I guarantee you a lot more people would come in. So you should do a Space Friday, man. A re-birthday cap. So therefore, a lot of people, you got love on this app, or you got love on the space. So I think you should do another one, and that's when I'm gonna be able to, shake your hand on the left hand, slide, grease your palm. You know what I'm saying? How we do it, man. You know what I'm saying? But do one this weekend, man. So and let people know, because you didn't announce it. Nobody in the space, nobody knew it was your birthday. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
let everybody know.
I just when the little thing I did a little tweet earlier this morning or whatever. When I got up, I saw the happy birthday thing. I was like, let me screenshot it and tweet it out to to my people or whatever. But it's, I know Friday I'm gonna be out and about. I'm gonna be out and about this weekend and stuff towards it. So I don't know. I like the birthday thing. It's cool. Well, the people that saw, they wish me, you guys wish me a happy birthday. So that's cool for me. That's cool. But I want to come back. I want to get on that. You know me. I want to get on that content, man. I want to get this like, because I was out all last week sick and stuff like that. So I was like, damn, it was a lot of spaces, man. And I wouldn't, get up in, and my voice just wouldn't hold up. And I'm like, well, it's just the beginning of the year. So I feel like I'm to the point now, like ain't no, the news cycle's going to always be there. So just get better, get well and come back or whatever. But I appreciate it. I appreciate anybody that, wish me well, wishes and stuff like that as well too. So it's not a big thing. Normally I don't even mention my birthday, but I did mention it this time. So I appreciate everybody, that hollered at me and gave some love or whatever. And me, man, we gonna keep churning out this news and stuff like that, man. That's one thing by having a news site and a media site or whatever. It's gonna always be there. So we gonna keep. And a lot of times, man, I just don't know what sometimes I don't know what to do a topic on because there be so much stuff going on, and most of the stuff I pull it right off of the website itself. So it's like, hey, I'm debating on what to do or whatever. And sometimes I just want to do one topic, and sometimes I'm like, I need to cover 3-4 topics, but we gonna get it in, man. I appreciate you coming up in here and taking time and seeing, hey, it's Total birthday. Let me come up in here and holler at him. So, that kind of stuff like that, that lets me know that, hey, man, I'm doing something right. So I appreciate that. When I got players like you and I got some of these sisters and some of these other brothers up in here hollering at me and, hey, wishing me well wishes and stuff like that, that lets me know that, hey, man, I'm doing something right, and we just got to keep pushing forward. So, hey, I know I'm gonna be going out this weekend and stuff like that and everything like that. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try to see towards if I might do another space this week. I'm not entirely sure, but if not, I'll be back bright and early Monday to go ahead. And like I said, I want to get back to doing at least 3 spaces a week, 2 to 3 spaces. Sometimes it just depends on your schedule and everything like that as well too, with having kids and everything like that as well too. So I try to before we was doing 4 spaces a night a couple years ago, and sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do that, but we're going to definitely get it in when we can get it in. But I appreciate you, man, and everybody up in this space as well, too. You guys always show love. Miss Stephanie, you want to go ahead and get it in before I close it out?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say, stop beating up on the 50 plus because we need love, too.
You understand me? We still active. You know what I'm saying? We still about that life. You know what I mean? We got experience we can share. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. We just look like this. You understand me? Real talk.
And like I say, I ain't that far away from it, so I can't beat up on it. So I'm like looking the rear view at it or whatever. Like, so I'm definitely.
I'm about to say I'm close to it. I'm close to it. Come February 7th, 49.
Oh, okay, Professor, you knocking right on the door.
Once again, shout out to the Aquarius in the room, man. This y'all season, man. Towards the bull season coming up, and we going hard. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Aquarius, man.
Yes, sir. And on that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close it out for the night. So peace. Y'all be safe. And if I don't do another space this week, DJ may do one or something as well, too. So we'll holler at you guys. Peace, everybody.
Peace.